for the way they treat our veterans. And if they don't treat them well, we say, sorry, you're fired.
Trump is a lot of things, but on Memorial Day, it's a toss-up as to whether he's a bigger traitor or coward. And I guess I left out cognitively challenged, so let's start with that. You know, psychologists say as your dementia spreads, it highlights or exacerbates the part of you that is just awful. You know, the part that makes even your closest friends and family go, ooh, and that is tiny fingers.
He quit like a dog. Got thrown out of the Navy like a dog.
And he was fired like a dog.
Romney choked like a dog. He choked.
They sweated like dogs.
On the day we honor the men and women who died in service to our country, we instead are interrupted by an orange skin tag, a flatulent pustule whose mind is rotting like a piece of raw meat you left in a car on a hot August day. You know him as Donald Trump.
The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa. That's nice. That's nice. Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win.
Donnie
Indictable
has insulted Gold Star mothers, mocked our soldiers' deaths, and insulted the memories of our brave men and women. So what he said today shouldn't shock anyone. As families grieve and remember the fallen, Trump instead decided to venomously spray his insanity at the very American ideals for which these men and women gave their lives.
Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country, and to the radical left, Trump-hating federal judge in New York that presided over, get this, 2 separate trials that awarded a woman who I never met before a quick handshake at a celebrity event 25 years ago doesn't count, $91 million for defamation.
Well, Trump gets to the point quickly. It's all about me. The men and women, I mean suckers and losers who died in service to our country, what about them? Well, you remember that, right? Atlantic Magazine editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg said Trump had refused to visit the American cemetery near Paris back in 2018 to honor the 100th anniversary of their deaths because he feared his hair might become disheveled in the rain. But of course he would say that.
The President of the United States skipping a ceremony to honor Americans killed in the First World War, blaming the weather, even though other officials made it. The Atlantic Magazine reports that on that specific visit, Donald Trump told staff, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." Later, he called 1,800 Americans who died in the legendary Battle of Belleau Wood suckers for getting killed. The reporter behind the story stands by it and his high-level, unnamed sources.
He doesn't understand why one would go pay that level of respect to fallen American soldiers.
My stepson was not a sucker.
Veterans groups are already looking to capitalize on the story, which has been confirmed by other outlets, including Fox News. For some veterans, the story speaks volumes about Trump's patriotism.
I'm always cautioned not to lose my temper. This may be as close as I've come.
But Trump's history of disrespect goes back to avoiding the draft. Remember those bone spurs?
Mass arrests, demonstrations, Chicago, that all of us can look back and see on C-SPAN. But it was a tumultuous time, and most of it was bred by the conflict. And one aspect of the conflict, by the way, that I will never, ever countenance is that we drafted the lowest income level of America, and the highest income level found a doctor that would say that they had a bone spur. That is wrong. That is wrong. If we're going to ask every American to serve, every American should serve.
We'll get back to McCain in a minute, but Trump also tweeted this, in a feeble attempt to prove he's a normal human being, but he's far from it.
I didn't serve. I haven't served. I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
Mr. Trump said, "You think I'm stupid? I'm not going to Vietnam."
He's a sociopath who is incapable of caring for others. This happened yesterday. That's Trump saluting Amazing Grace. Good job, Donnie. He's lost his mind, and the word's getting around. Over the weekend, he appeared before libertarians, trying his con on them. And well, he's had better days.
And again, you can either nominate us and put us in the position or give us your votes. I would say nominate or give us your votes, but we want libertarian votes because you stand for what we stand for, and don't waste a vote. And don't allow the worst president in the history of our country to come back and do the final destruction of America. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
The MAGA idiots who support Trump while talking about law and order or our military possess a zero sense of irony as Trump insults the family of an American who died serving in Iraq just because he was Muslim. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's Trump.
Lisa, many Gold Star families see this as a very personal attack. Tonight, a local man whose brother was killed while serving in Iraq tells me this country is better than this. Last week at the Democratic National Convention, the father of Army Captain Humayun Khan, a Muslim American killed in Iraq, challenged Trump. In response, Trump said he didn't appreciate the criticism, said he too has sacrificed, and accused Khan's mother of remaining silent because of her religion.
She was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say.
If there's anybody that has earned their First Amendment right, it's those that have sacrificed a life to this country. And the Khans deserve their First Amendment right.
Kevin Duffy's brother, Sergeant Shane Duffy, was killed in Iraq in 2008. Duffy says he's not only appalled, he's offended by Trump's remarks and joined dozens of other Gold Star families in a letter to the candidate demanding an apology.
John McCain was captured in Vietnam and served 5 excruciatingly painful years as a POW. Because his father was an admiral, he could have gone home early, but instead refused and insisted another POW who'd been there longer go home first. In other words, John McCain was everything that Donald Trump will never be, a real American and a wonderfully decent human being.
At a conference of religious conservatives today, Donald Trump sparred with CBS pollster Frank Luntz over Senator John McCain.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Arlington National Cemetery sits across a road from the Pentagon, and that's no accident. It's there as a reminder to the men who ask us to send our children to far-off places to fight, that their sacrifice is often not only profound, but tragic and sorrowful. When I was a child, I lived but a few miles from Arlington, and as my father was a vet, we would go to Arlington Cemetery and help pass out coffee and donuts to visiting families. I was too young to understand the significance, but I do remember the strangers crying and patting my little head as they thanked us. Which makes me, as it should you, angry and hurt that this country would even consider allowing this grifter, the man who sent thousands to attack the Capitol and the police who defended the building and its occupants, to ever again hold the reins of power. And again, it's personal for me, as my father was a DC policeman who suffered the physical and psychological effects of the job. Trump is a coward of the highest magnitude who has no loyalty to anything but himself. He rapes women, rips off charities, rips off students, and is a racist who courts the very worst that our country has created. He long ago turned his back on the fine men and women who serve, and today turns his back on the rest of us, including our allies in Europe.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
On this day, it makes me wonder about those who follow and support him, how they sleep at night, knowing that their weakness and greed have turned our country inside out. On Memorial Day, we remember our heroes. On Election Day, remember how Trump treated them.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I'm Chip Franklin.